Cinder Falls should be the big bad of RWBY. Hey guys, it's Vexed, and today I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind since the conclusion of Volume 8. I think Cinder should be the big bad of the show, not Salem. Why do I feel that way considering Cinder Fall is the worst character in the show? Well, it has everything to do with how the two characters were handled in Volume 8. But before we get into that, let's talk about these two. Cinder Fall was introduced in the Volume 1 end credit, and ever since then, she's been a thorn in the ass of our heroes. She took down Beacon. She was responsible for Penny's supposed death both times. She killed Pyrrha. She killed Ozpin. She impaled Weiss. In a show called RWBY, Cinder has caused the most amount of pain for the four girls and their friends. Cinder is a cold-blooded killer who lacks empathy and compassion. She wants to be feared and powerful for some reason. No, her backstory did not answer that question. She cares about no one but herself and has no redeeming qualities. Cinder is not a sympathetic villain, unlike Salem, who kinda is. Salem was an arrogant woman who lost the love of her life. She was grieving. While people generally associate grief with sadness, anger is also a common reaction to grief. Why did this happen to me? It's not fair. Who's to blame?
That's not fair. That's not fair!
This sent her down a path of self-destruction. But this all began with the loss of a loved one. After the gods made her immortal, she fell into a grim pool because she wanted to kill herself. She was trying to rid herself of the gods' punishment. And as it stands now, it's still all she wants. Salem wants to die. If our heroes could kill her, she would welcome it. She would be thrilled. Salem is a far more interesting character and a more sympathetic villain. Well, wait a minute, Vexed. If Salem is more interesting, shouldn't she be the big bad? Well, sure, Salem is more compelling, but Volume 8 really hurt the character. They told us the big bad was going to do it herself, and she didn't. Cinder did. She stays in that damn whale, surveying the scene, and then she gets taken out by Ozpin and Hazel. She couldn't break free from Hazel for crying out loud. While she was pulling herself together, out of sight, out of mind, Cinder was making stuff happen. Guys, the volume that was set up for Salem to shine was designed to be Cinder's volume. According to Miles, Volume 9 was always going to be Cinder's volume. So what are the writers trying to say here? Is Cinder the end game for our heroes? I mean, they might as well take it in that direction. I have an idea. Let's compare these two to a pair of very popular villains. Firelord Ozai and Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, it's clear from the very beginning that the Firelord is the final boss for Aang. The Avatar must defeat the Firelord, right? His presence looms over the entire series, and they build to that confrontation. Aang and the Firelord don't come into contact until the finale. Do we get the sense that there will be a final showdown between Team RWBY and Salem?
No.
Considering she can't die, how would that even work? Yang already lit her up with explosives. They already came into contact with Salem, and it was underwhelming. No one died. The only time you feel like someone is in real danger is when Cinder is around.
I couldn't stop them. I couldn't even stop the maiden from escaping without putting the relics in jeopardy.
Can we talk about the dynamic between these two? Azula is very much an extension of her father. She's a subordinate. She does whatever her father tells her to do, and she respects her father. Some would argue that Azula was even manipulated by her father, the big bad. Cinder doesn't give a rat's ass about Salem. She disobeys her left and right. Salem is a means to an end for Cinder. She wants power, and Salem can give that to her. Salem isn't manipulating Cinder. She lies straight to Salem's face at the end of the volume, and the writers give her the last word.
And that's checkmate.
So I ask, who's the final boss here? Salem or Cinder? Cinder is clearly going to break away from Salem. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. When that happens, Salem is going to be prime for an eventual redemption arc. Remember, Salem simply wants to die. She's tired. Only reason she's evil now is because she fell into the Grim Pool when she was trying to end herself. That's not something the gods did, that's something she did to herself accidentally. If they can find a way to revert her back to her regular human form, she won't have a desire for pure destruction, and they may be able to reason with her. That would leave Cinder as the big bad who's no longer under Salem's thumb. Salem wouldn't be able to manipulate Cinder's grim arm. Cinder would be free of her. And Cinder, off her leash, would be the final big bad. Yes, the worst character in the show would be the big bad, but I don't think they have much of a choice. What do you guys think? Do you like Salem as the big bad? Do you think it needs to be Cinder? Let me know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.